All right, everyone, welcome back to another Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes video with Fat Phil. It has been a hot minute. I want to offer my sincerest apologies for how sporadic and awful, not being able to post was. For those of you who didn't know, right, I was traveling abroad in the UK for work. Yeah, it was brutal, right? I'm not gonna lie, guys. It was a really, really brutal trip. You know, work sucks. I know. Yeah, it was not fun. If it wasn't for the weekend, I would have just been miserable the entire time. And we'll talk about it a little bit more. But I was away for 10 days, away from my family. I miss my girls and my wife so much. Like I would be FaceTiming them. I wouldn't even say words. I would just sit there and enjoy hearing them have just dinner and watching them eat. Like it just was trying to find a way to be home. So I am back now. Thank you guys. I want to give a huge shout out to the channel members. These are the most up-to-date graphics I have. I appreciate all of you. I know I have some work to do. It's just been, again, we've had a lot of stuff going on. I really want to thank you guys for continuing to put faith in me as channel members. We're going to get back into this. I wanted to create more. It was not a fun trip. I'll talk about it more in the members only section and stuff. But I did just want to show you guys one of the few highlights from the trip. I got to see Chelsea in person at the bridge on May 19th. One of the coolest experiences of my life. This was so awesome. So these are my seats. This is where I was, at the bridge there. Got to see the Champions League trophy. Arsenal fans, come at me in the comments to show me a picture of you with yours. Obviously, yeah, just was so cool. And then I was actually at the Butcher's Hook, and Belle Silva showed up before Thiago's last game. So what an amazing experience. So cool to see her. She was in tears as we were all chanting her name, chanting Thiago's name. What an amazing trip. So I wanted to share at least some pictures with you guys. But let's get into the game, into our introduction. We're going to talk about kind of what happened while I was away. What things was I doing? How am I reacting to all of it now? So let's get into our introduction here and into the video. All right, so here we are, and we've got our king, of course, up there. And in case something looks different, I'm on the PC client. It is so awesome. So, number one, I lost a ton of crystals while I was away. I had this plan to do the gamble packs for Qui-Gon and Padawan Obi-Wan, and by doing that, I spent 4,000 crystals on each of them. But then when I did that for Qui-Gon, I was traveling and I wasn't able to climb in Fleet Arena properly. So I was losing about 300 crystals a day in Fleet Arena because I wasn't able to get first place. And so not only did I spend all these crystals, I wasn't even making as much as I used to. So I lost a ton of crystals while I was away and been trying to recuperate that. So that's been a really, really big struggle. Past couple days we've been really dealing with it, trying to kind of get back up and running. From a conquest perspective, I did get Queen Amidala. We were able to unlock her. I was able to max out conquest. However, it came at the expense of really not getting any of the new Datacrons. I've got 3 level 9s. I've got 3 good ones, but I don't have many Datacrons from just not farming them, not really being able to actively go after conquest. I would miss a lot of refreshes. It was a disaster class. Absolute disaster class. It really killed me. I was very nervous going into my grand arenas because even for GAC, I didn't have the Revacron until after this last round. So yeah, it was a really, really tough run of it there. However, thanks to the work I'd put into the previous Datacron set, my Rey, Zori, and Trench were my MVPs. I was able to go 2-1 in my first 3v3 round, which I was very pleased about. And the one loss, I would have taken an L anyway, because the guy had Jar Jar and, 13 million GP. But I did one battle, took my 10 points and ran. And I was going to do that actually for all 3, but my opponents kind of fumbled through, and I was like, you know what? I got to play. I've got to find a way to beat these guys if they're just going to not, they were dropping battles left and right, and I was like, I gotta play now. I have an opportunity to win. I'm gonna take it. So 2-1, very pleased with that. That was a big boost to the crystals because, I cut back on my fleet and energy, fleet and mod energy spending, so that I could start saving some crystals because I was still spending my regular, still spending Cantina. So I cut back a lot of my crystal spending to kind of start reaccumulating the hoard of crystals that I did have, especially with these bonus drops coming up. I want to make sure I hammer those hard. So it came at the expense of, you know, the fleet and mod energy, which of the energy types to me is the least important right now, because I have a plethora of mods. I've got a lot of the gear that I need. Like I don't have an immediate need for any of the gear. And when I say immediate need, I don't need to gear up my entire Gungan faction tomorrow. I've got time, so I can take a few days to kind of catch my breath on crystals and then get into some other stuff. So this is kind of the, hey, I don't have an immediate need for these guys. I'm going to still farm them. We're going to be going after these bonus drops really, really hard. But I don't feel like I have this immediate need to be like, yes, you know what? If I don't farm these guys, like, I am done for, right? Or I should say, if I don't have gear or if I'm not doing these things, I'm going to end up in a really bad spot. Because I want to flip over here to my screen capture. And this is the, if you guys aren't familiar with this is my Google sheet that I kind of created with, hey, here's all the Kyrotech, you know, Zetas and signal data that I'm going to need for, you know, these characters. And what I'm doing is I'm tracking my current inventory to what I need and how much have I grown from April, you know, into May now. So been trying to just keep track of this stuff. One, I think it's really important for you guys to see just how much Kyrotech you can get, but also I think for myself to know where I can spend things, because one of the big areas that I wasn't as sure on was, could I get Bo-Katan? Could I get Queen Amidala? Like, can I get some of these other things before I get to the Gungans? That was kind of like the, hey, is this going to work? And when I look at these numbers right here, I feel really confident, especially with the, you know, Kyrotech and Zetas, that I can go ahead and get somebody like Bo next month and get Queen Amidala up and running and, you know, spend these 600 Kyrotech here. And I'm still going to make that up inside of a month to be able to go and get Jar Jar then. So I don't feel like I can't do that. And this spreadsheet, I think, has really helped that. Because without it, I'd just be guessing. And I could either spend too much or not enough and really hurt my account. So I'm very happy I did this. And this is kind of really giving me a barometer to use for how to go about the game. Now, one thing all of you are probably looking at is like, Phil, how have you changed 783 Mark 7 Kyrotech when your inventory's barely up, not even 200? What I'm doing here in this formula, just to show you, is that these yeses say, hey, I finished that character, so I equipped these Kyrotech, that they're technically in my inventory because they're on that character. So they're a part of this change to say, yeah, I'm still at 1400 Kyrotech and I've spent this much. So I wanted to just make sure you guys understand the way that formula is working, because it's not, you know, if you didn't know, you'd think I'm a moron and that I don't know how math works. So I just made this for myself. It's something I'm going to continue to do. I've just got to find the right time to add new characters to it, because you want it to be kind of, I think what I'll probably do is after I get Jar Jar, we'll start adding some more characters to it. That you don't want to just continually add things to it, because you want to show that you're making progress and chipping away at something. But I think after Jar Jar, we'll kind of take a fresh look, figure out the next direction to go. So wanted to share this again. I thought about doing this in the account update, but my account update, we're going to talk about some other things that are going on. So I wanted to show you guys this progress, especially being away for as long as I was. You guys didn't really get any input onto what was happening. So if I flip back over to the game then, right? Oh, and it's really, I guess I don't like where my face is because it's covering these Gungans. That's okay. We'll have to figure this whole new PC client out. So at the end of the day here, guys, you know, we've, you know, gotten, you know, the Gungans, right? There's no immediate need. So now I'm going to be working on Bo and then Queen Amidala as the next big things before I get Jar Jar. Like, they're going to be the two things I'm going to commit to 100% before getting Jar Jar. And I don't really know how good Queen Amidala is going to be in GAC, but we're going to find out, because we're going to take her up to Relics in this video. Again, I really have been wanting to do these for you guys in these videos, because I do think it's just important to kind of see the gearing process, important to see me kind of do this stuff. You know, it's a major thing. You won't stick around for the modding, because I'm going to have to figure out a lot more stuff than that. But we'll at least gear her up here. I'm not even looking. Not even looking. Ooh, that is a nice headgear piece. I do like that. I just want to say this PC client, like, while I'm doing this This PC client has been amazing. Like, really, really cool. It's the first time I'm actually in it. It's been super fast, and I want to give CG a lot of credit for this. Like, this is not something that generates them revenue. Like, they're not going to make more money because there's a PC version of the game, right? They did this purely because they wanted to give us a way to play this game. And I think, like, BlueStacks, all of us content creators were using BlueStacks, and it would crash and all this stuff. So I think this PC version is kind of getting us all onto it, and I think it makes them probably feel a lot more at ease. So I do really like this. I think it's awesome. It's so smooth. The frame rate's faster. The graphics are better. Everything is great. So we're now going to have a Relic 7 Queen Amidala. I feel good stopping at Relic 7 for now. We'll kind of have to wait and see what she ends up needing. I still have no idea how I'm going to use this character yet. We're going to kind of have to figure that out. But, yeah, and then we got to do some abilities here. So this is the other thing I was noticing. So we've got, we'll talk about it some more as well. We've got bonus drops coming for the Gungans. And I saw that they were giving out Omega materials. And I thought that was very interesting that they chose that. And I'm wondering if it's because they saw an uptick of players below the tip of the spear who were wailing on Jar Jar, and that they would need those Omega materials because of light speed bundle. So I was very curious about that, because I would argue that, like, most of us would rather have, a Zeta or something else. So yeah, it's going to be very interesting. I'm not sure. I really don't know what Omicrons I'm going to equip yet. I'm going to kind of play around with this. I don't know that I'm even going to, I might equip like 1 or 2 Omicrons, but I don't know how many I'm going to put on her, because I won't have the A tier team for her. And I want to make sure that I've got like enough, not only for Jar Jar, but potentially other things as well. So yeah, it's going to be really interesting to kind of see the way this pans out. And that's already maxed out. Nice. All allies, defense, max health, protection. Yeah. So I'm just going through here. I do like that they've slowed down the ability process. I think this is a lot better, because in the old way, you could just like click through it and accidentally equip an Omicron if you didn't want to. So I do think that is really, really nice. Does she not take that many Zetas? I'm trying to think, do we need this leadership? Yeah, probably. I think the leadership is the way to go. Definitely gonna need whatever these things are. I think I might do. I don't know. Do I want to equip 2? I don't know if I want to do the ability yet. I'm not sure on that. Definitely want the Zeta. And what's the Omicron? All allies gain mastery. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, we need that. Okay, we need that one, and I don't know about this yet. We're going to wait and see. I'll let you guys know if I end up equipping it or not, but that's the end of the video. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this. Again, I love you all. We're going to get back to regularly scheduled content. I've missed you. I've missed this game. Thank you so much for your support. See you in the next one. Cheers, my friends.